Hey everyone, my name is Dani Soibelman, my pronouns are they, them, and I attended Cal State LA from 2013 to 2016. I'm really honored that your program asked me to talk a little bit about my experiences, and I hope that I can share some advice that's applicable to you as you go on your college journeys. So, a little bit about me and my beginning to college. I started at Cal State LA when I was 14 years old through the Honors College's Early Entrance program. That program allows about 30 students a year between the ages of 11 and 16 to skip high school and start their college journeys early because I knew I wanted to be an academic, and being able to jumpstart that was really exciting for me. At the same time, I was a child actor working on the Disney Channel. If you remember the show Dog with a Blog, I was on that, and if you don't remember, also great. I was working on that right when I started college, and very quickly I realized that being a full-time college student and a full-time working actor was not going to be sustainable. To be like totally honest with y'all, I had a really hard time my first year just trying to balance doing both and not doing either very well. So I had to make a choice. Was I going to do college but be a little more casual on the academic side and continue going into acting, or was I going to leave acting behind and totally go on to being a professor and an academic at my PhD? Spoiler alert, I chose to be a huge nerd, and here I am now in a PhD program. It was hard to give up something that I had spent so many years of my childhood doing. It just like kind of becomes ingrained in your identity. But it was also a realization that I could do the things I loved about performance in my new academic life. Teaching is a lot like acting. You're just performing and telling people that they should care about something that you care about. But instead of having to play someone else, you get to play yourself and figure out who you are, and that's the role of a lifetime. So that's how I ended up deciding that I wanted to get my PhD, but the question was, what would I get it in? And I figured that out my sophomore year when I took I took a class in forensics, or speech and debate. The year prior, I had taken COM 1100 public speaking with Professor Francis Chi, who I still adore. And I learned that I really enjoyed doing advocacy through performance. So I joined the forensics team and realized that competing was super fun. Wasn't very good at it at first, but I was really motivated. So I just kept working on it and putting together new speeches, learning the craft. And due to some unexpected circumstances, I had to travel and transfer to the University of Texas at Austin in 2016. But I did my last 2 years of college there and kept my love of forensics that started at Cal State LA and was able to bring it to the Texas speech team, which was at UT Austin. I competed there for the last 2 years of my college career, and by my senior year, I became a national finalist in impromptu speaking and ended up being named the runner-up in the event, which was more than I could have ever dreamed of. It was so exciting to be able to perform on that final stage and get to tell people the messages that I thought were important. But what that did was introduce me to the world of communication studies as an academic discipline. And I was like, oh, wow, this is where I belong. You just get to talk about how people make decisions collectively, how they talk to one another, how like the philosophy of rhetoric works. And these are all things that I was super interested in and just didn't know there was a discipline for it. So that's what I got my bachelor's degree in. I ended up staying at the University of Texas for another 2 years and getting my master's in organizational communication while I coached the speech team. Now I am at the University of Colorado Boulder. That's why you see so many pretty trees behind me. It is gorgeous out here. I get a view of the mountains from my office, and I'm still studying organizational communication as a second year. My research interests revolve around health communication. I'm interested in how we can build a better system specifically for United States healthcare, because let's be honest, it's super broken, super racist, sexist, and oppressive. And my interests are in figuring out how we can create a better system for patients, for doctors, and ultimately promote liberation through health rather than repression. I am really lucky that I've been able to teach health communication to undergrads this past year at Cal State Northridge remotely. It's been such a dream to be back in the Cal State system. I grew up like 15 minutes from Cal State Northridge, so it's just really awesome to be working in their department now. And I get to teach people how to be a good health advocate for themselves and for their loved ones who might also need health support. And people learn so many things that they never knew about health or might have known but didn't know how to put into words. And that's really the most exciting thing for me, doing social justice research in communication and just being a professor doing that anyway. I really hope to continue doing work in teaching and education. My pie in the sky dream idea is to be a community health advocate who gets to do work on prison abolition and mutual aid and all of these things that I think are so important to empower communities that don't currently exist in full force. So that's where I am now, and honestly, I can trace a direct line back to my time at Cal State LA from the beginnings of my college experience to where I am now.